never allow the government to decide what is acceptable speech and what is unacceptable speech. We should penalize behaviors, not opinions, and not speech. If you start trying to regulate speech, you start trying to regulate thoughts, start trying to regulate beliefs rather than behaviors, there's no way that you're not going to abridge the constitutional rights of millions of Americans.
أهلا، أنا عمران دقنيش. لقد رأيتني في سيارة الإسعاف في حلب. عندما أطاحت الطيارات الجوية بمنزل عائلتي. أنا بأمان الآن. أردت أن أجيب على تساؤل شخص ما حول مشاعري عن نفسي وعن عائلتي عن طريق قول أنا بخير وأنا أحبك أيضا يا ديفيد.
مرحبا، أنا عمران دقنيش. في 2016 رأيتني في سيارة إسعاف لما كان عمري 3 سنوات فقط. اليوم أنا في 7 من عمري وأنا بشكل جيد في حلب. أختي رؤى وأختي الصغيرة تقي في حالة جيدة. أخي عبد الله يبلغ من العمر 8 أعوام تقريبا. والدي هو محمد خير وهو أيضا بخير، ووالدتي أيضا بخير الآن. أردنا إخبار كل من صلى من أجلنا. شكرا لكم، ونحن أيضا نحبكم جميعا.
Hi, I'm George Lucas. In my past 40 years of motion picture making, no subject has so inspired me as this story that happened in August 2016. The world saw a 3-year-old boy on global networks, and it really touched my heart. So much so that I had to tell his story. His name is Omran Daknish. His story is real. It happened. I'm telling this story because millions of other children just like Omran are still being hurt in war-torn countries resulting from neglect, illness, and uncaring masses. We must remember them all. You won't be leaving the movie theater without a tear in your eyes. I hope you'll come.
ضرب. أنا كنت في قلب البيت وجتني الضربة. إيش مصدرها؟ إيش منين؟ إيش ما عرفت. شغلة تاني، أنا طلبت من الإعلاميين اللي كانوا موجودين هنيك والمسلحين يطالعوا آثار البقايا، مثلا الصاروخ أو الضربة اللي عم يدعوها أي شيء، يطالعوا البقايا مشان أعرف إيش بدي أحكي معهم، على أساسها نصرح. ورفضوا يطالعوا أي شيء. بالنسبة يعني القبعات البيضاء عم يشتغلوا هن مع الصحافة بدرجة الأولى، وشغلة مهنية عم يستخدموها. منهم بعض منهم بيشتغلوا يعني كعمل إنساني، وبعض منهم كمهني، لأن اليوم الصورة وقت اللي عم بصورها في عليها ثمن. اللقطة اللي بتشتغل بالعاطفة على العاطفة هي لها ثمن. في منهم عم يشتغلوا مع بعض بهالأمر بين الصحافة وقبعات البيض.
حط لها كاميرا عمو.
أعطيها لعبودي.
أعطيها فوتك أنت.
زتوا لبعض. زتوا لبعض. نحن بالنسبة وقت اللي أخذوا عمران مشان يسعفوه، قبل ما يسعفوه حطوه عم بصوروه. هالصورة ليش؟ هالصورة هي عبارة مشان يتاجروا في دمه، أنه اللي هو اتصوب وهو انضرب وإصابته ثقيلة والحمد لله إصابته هو خفيفة. يعني هالتجارة بهالأمر وبدون ما ياخذوا إذني وبدون ما يقولوا لي وبدون ما يكون لي أي خبر. عمران أنا ما جبرت حدا لا يصوره، ولا جبرت حدا طلبت منه أي شيء بالنسبة لعمران، لا إعلام ولا إشهار ولا أي شيء. صوروه خارج إرادتي. بالإضافة أنا جبته على البيت مشان ما يرجع حدا يصوره وحدا يرجع يتاجر في بدمه بهالأمر. حلقت له شعره وغيرت له حتى اسمه ومنعته مثل الخروج على الشارع. جينا لهون وباركنا والحمد لله ما في أي شيء ولا في أي إزعاج. بعدين صار يرجع يطلع على الإعلام يحكوا هذا اللي صوره وهذا اللي صار يرجع ويحكوا عليه وكأنه هو إلن. هذا ابني وأنا بدي بس أنه يحلوا عنه. ما يعني لا هو لا فرضنا حالنا عليهم ولا طلبنا منهم شيء. وفوق من هلا بعثوا لي تهديدات مردودة عليهم، لأنه أنا ما عم بعمل شيء غلط. أنا ما عم بتآمر على البلد، ما عم بقبض دولار مشان أضر بلدي. أنا إنسان مواطن، سعري بسعر أي مواطن، وهذا الطفل بسعر أي طفل. وعم بيستثمروا هو بهالأمر وطالعوني أنا خاين. هذا كلام إيش بيحكوه مردود عليهم. لأسكات كل شيء كان عم يحكي وبلفق حكي على عمران. عمران الحمد لله عايش بخير وموفر له كل شيء وما بحاجة حدا لحدا يعني يبرك يحكي على عمران ووضع عمران وإيش كان عمران وشلون تصوب عمران ومين اللي صوب عمران. أنا بالنسبة بدي أطلع لهالمناطق وهنيك ضمن الحصار، أنا فيني كان أغامر في حالي، بس عائلتي ما فيني أحطها بالمغامرة. يعني في أطفال صغار في أمهم، يعني ما فيني أحطهم بالمغامرة. وبجوز نخرج بجوز ما نخرج، بجوز يرشونا، يعني في كثير أمور. فلذلك تمينا قاعدين لوقت ما صار مجال طلعنا.
You didn't build that. Somebody else made that happen.
It's not too much of a stretch to say that some of the only people in America who are going to work the same job in the same place with a health and retirement package for 30 years are sitting in this chamber. For everyone else, especially folks in their 40s and 50s,
I think Donald Trump's win was legitimate. So is the election legit? The election is by this intrusion.
I don't see the intrusion. President-elect as a legitimate president.
You do not consider him a legitimate president?
Does he think that Democrats should put this away, this whole idea of legitimate, illegitimate?
The president's not going to get in the middle of this right now.
I get it, but you didn't answer the question. Yeah. Is Donald Trump legitimate?
I think there's a cloud of questions around what happened.
There can be clouds of questions, and we disagree on things, but honestly, I mean, yes or no, is he the legitimately elected president of the United States when he raises his hand?
We're counting on our law enforcement community to get to the bottom of these questions. He also won't.
Do you agree with John Lewis? Do you agree that Donald Trump is, in effect, not a legitimate president?
I think that there's no question that the process that elected him was not legitimate.
You agree with John Lewis on what point?
Although legally elected is not legitimate for the reason.
Okay.
I believe, Congressman, that Donald Trump will legitimacy question. The legitimacy questions come up. You say he will be president of the United States, but you're at least reluctant to say he will be the legitimate president of the United States. Is that right?
He is going to be president.
But isn't it more difficult now to work together when you've said flatly he's not even a legitimate president? I don't recognize his legitimacy. John Lewis said that.
John Lewis said that. No,
you believe he's a legitimate president?
Well, he was elected.
On the fact that Donald Trump can't say how he's not a legitimate president.
And
that he won fewer votes than Hillary Clinton.
Can't bear to tell him the truth.
And now the delegitimization of the presidency is taking hold within the country.
Do you think it was a legitimate election?
I think that there are lots of questions about its legitimacy.
The 2016 election wasn't legitimate. What does it mean to say it's not legitimate? It's not a legitimate election? What, you think it was a legitimate election? Time here, Donna. My question to you is, was it a legitimate election? Does it count?
My personal view is that it was not a legitimate election.
So it doesn't count?
Wow, this sounds just like the 2020 coverage, doesn't it? Until it doesn't. I mean, that's what happened after an election. That's what everybody forgets. So all these people on TV on their soapboxes with the title of anchor or pundit who are screaming at you that the president should absolutely concede, that he has no legal recourse, that Joe Biden is absolutely legitimate. Well, what did you just hear? This is something they planted right after the 2016 election, and it hounded this president for 4 years in terms of Russian collusion. You know, I went back just for S's and giggles as far as looking at President Trump as president-elect, his first press conference after he was elected. 13 times reporters brought up in 13 different questions either Russia or Vladimir Putin. Almost nothing that the president ran on in terms of immigration, in terms of deregulation. All those things that got him elected wasn't even brought up in his press conference. It was solely Russia, and that was a preview of what we got for 4 years. And now these people are telling you, they're telling the president that he's destroying democracy? I believe that process started about 4 years ago. Anyway, let's get some calls in, shall we? I want to go down.
Raphael Warnock is a radical's radical, a disciple of anti-American Reverend Jeremiah Wright.
Not God bless America, God America.
Warnock defended Jeremiah Wright's hatred, then gave Wright an award for, quote, truth-telling.
We celebrate Reverend Wright. He is a preacher and a prophet.
God America.
Raphael Warnock is dangerous.
Police power showing up in a gangster and thug mentality.
Warnock is so radical, he referred to Marxism 101 times in this book.
Black Lives Matter! Palestinian Lives Matter!
Warnock even hosted a rally for an anti-American communist dictator.
God America!
Radical Raphael Warnock will give the left total control. Saving the Senate is about saving America from that.
I'm Kelly Loeffler, candidate for U.S. Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Georgians for Kelly Loeffler.
that the majority of the American people support.
I hope everybody moves to Georgia, in the next a month or two, registers to vote and votes for these two Democratic senators.
Democrats are the party of every hypersensitive social justice warrior, woke story in the news. They're the party that disappears people.
Down. The other tower just went down. Tower's down. Second tower's down. Got another tower that went down, kid? The other tower's down. The other tower's down, man! From it! The other tower's down! Get away from it! Get away from it!
And we will decriminalize marijuana, and we will expunge the records of those who have been convicted of marijuana. This is a time for leadership on a tragic, tragic issue of unarmed black people in America.
Thank you, Senator Harris.
I am Patrick McGugan, John Drake, but you also know me as number 6. Who was I, really? I represented you, the private citizen. It was symbolism of the socialist world order we see today. You didn't get it, did you? Now we all are facing this reality, that all are
CBS presents this program in color.
This is the beginning. This is the day. You are watching the unfolding of one of history's great adventures. Man's colonization of space beyond the stars.
This is Alpha Control, 0 minus 1 hour and 15 minutes in holding. Delay caused by difficulty with liquid oxygen loading valve. 0 minus 1 hour and 15 minutes and holding. TV satellite control, take over.
Reaching out into other worlds from our desperately overcrowded planet, a series of deep-thrust telescopic probes have conclusively established a planet orbiting the star Alpha Centauri as the only one within range of our technology able to furnish ideal conditions for human existence. Even now, the family chosen for this incredible journey into space is preparing to take their final pre-liftoff physical tests. The Robinson family was selected from more than 2 million volunteers for its unique balance of scientific achievement, emotional stability, and pioneer resourcefulness. They will spend the 5.5 years of their voyage frozen into a state of suspended animation, which will terminate automatically as the spacecraft enters the atmosphere of the new planet. Here now is the Jupiter 2. The culmination of nearly 40 years of intensive research and the most sophisticated piece of hardware yet devised by the mind of man. Bold in concept, brilliant in execution, this most delicate yet most colossal of instruments makes possible man's thrust into deep space and will soon set out on its quest for a new world. This super spaceship stands 2 stories high. The upper level contains a fantastic, sophisticated guidance control system. An electronic elevator connects both floors of the intergalactic vehicle. The upper and lower levels are operationally self-contained. Here, on the lower deck, pulsating with unbelievable force, are the great atomic motors that will power the ship to new worlds. Spectacular but functional living quarters, including staterooms and galley, complete this level. There is one additional member of this expedition, an environmental control robot, key among whose many vital functions will be the final analysis of the physical environment of the new planet. This historic flight, preceded by nearly a decade of intensive research and preparation, has been shrouded by the most rigorous security precautions. Other nations, in even more desperate need for breathing room on our critically crowded planet, are racing the United States in this project. Countries that would go to any lengths of sabotage.
This is Alpha Control, 0 minus 1 hour and 15 minutes, and still holding.
Exactly launch plus 8 hours. Inertial guidance system
Destroy. Radio transmitter. Destroy. Cabin pressure control system. Destroy. This is Alpha Control. The Robinson family will prepare to board the space vehicle at once. It is now 0 minus 33 minutes and counting.
Calling Aeolus 14 Umbra. Aeolus 14 Umbra. Reporting mission accomplished. I have reprogrammed the robot. His power has been activated. Exactly 8 hours after launch, the robot will destroy the spaceship with all hands aboard. Repeat. 8 hours after launch, the robot will destroy the spaceship.
This is Alpha Control. All technical difficulties have been resolved and we are resuming countdown. The count now stands at 0 minus 1 hour and 14 minutes. All systems are now green and go.
Ready? Are we?
I should say something light and clever, shouldn't I? I just can't.
This is Alpha Control. The Robinson family will now board the spacecraft.
We're ready.
suitable. Imperative that I do not abandon my station. Repeat, imperative.
Why are you taking so long?
Dr. Smith, I am sorry. Earth course is not advisable.
Have you no consideration for a man's greed in process? Who knows what dreadful creatures inhabit the reaches of this galaxy? I'm here on this dreadful planet under heavy duress.
A moment of truth has arrived. The spaceship Jupiter 2 is lost in space.
Do as I say.
Cannot compute. Programming data insufficient. Danger.
I saw our picture on your shirt and wanted to say we love you. Be safe in Aleppo now.
I'm going to sing a song about a square, and I want you to look all around your room for one. But remember, a square has 4 straight sides, and each side is just as long as the other, and it has 4 corners that are the same size. One, 2, 3, 4. There's a square out there. Can you guess the square? Do you think that you can find it? You must be aware of the shape of a square if you really want to find it. So look with care for the shape of a square.
You can come and play now. You can come and play now. Come into the door.
দেশ আমরা?
4 سنين.